I want you to really take this in. Next time you're in this locker room after a game, so 7 days from now will be the last time we do this as a team. The last time we do this as a team. You seniors, we got 1 week left for one more game in here.
That week is now the Progressive Game Countdown as the seniors being honored. So much emotion for this Oklahoma team, and make no doubt they understand what's at stake for them tonight. Those are the storylines surrounding Oklahoma, but how about on the other side? Well, Holly Saunders has that for us downstairs.
Yes, absolutely, Tim. Well, following that Iowa State loss, Kansas Athletic Director Jeff Long let David Beaty know that he would not be returning next season. So David Beaty had this to say to the person who takes his spot next. A very classy thing to say, Tim. He said, whoever is the next guy, they're going to be damn lucky. This is a great place. Not a good place, a great place. Great fans who deserve better and a ton of great kids. Now, according to reports, Kansas is finalizing a deal with former LSU coach Les Miles. Tim, that'd be a huge hire for this university, wouldn't it?
In a lot of ways, it very well could be, Holly. As you look at David Beaty, what a dignified way for him to handle this. And Jeff Long, the outstanding athletic director, allowing him to do that. You don't see that often in intercollegiate athletics today. Lincoln Riley's brother, Garrett, is actually on the staff at Kansas, coaches the tight ends and fullbacks for David Beaty. So yet another family affair. As you look at one of the great all-purpose kickers in the game, Austin Seibert handles both place kicking and punting. And back deep, Steven Sims Jr. awaiting the kick. KU won the toss, selected to receive. And this one will go through the end zone for the touchback, as it generally does when Seibert kicks away. Now let's get Tillman's takes when the Jayhawks have the ball.
Tillman's not rocket science, Timmy B. It's all about sustaining drives. You talk about that vaunted Oklahoma offense. The way to kind of keep them neutralized is simply keep them off the field. And then on the opposite side of the ball, complementary defense. It's hard to put any defense in America on the plane that Oklahoma is from an offensive standpoint. But I think Ruffin McNeil can get this group playing at a much higher level, first beginning by affecting the quarterback on early downs.
That quarterback from Fort Lauderdale, Peyton Bender, out of the shotgun with Pooka WIlliams. Williams runs off the right side and gets healthy yardage. In fact, a first down on the opening play. Caleb Kelly, and you see Curtis Bolton, number 18, an outstanding linebacker, makes the tackle after 11 yards. His touchdown to interception ratio has been quite good. Some unfortunate plays and controversial calls have really cost this Jayhawks team, especially last week in their narrow loss to Kansas State.
Yeah, of course, he lost the handle on that one ball that had him a chance of possession away from taking the Governor's Cup that had been in the hands of Kansas State for so long.
From the 35 on first down. Stretch play to Khalil Herbert. All he could do to try to get back to the line of scrimmage is Kenneth Mann, 55, the defensive end, in that 3-4 setup, along with Curtis Bolton again, very active, making the tackle. There will be times when Ruffin McNeil will put that fourth hand in the dirt and go with a 4-down alignment. David Beaty and company will counter that. He's now calling the plays since his offensive coordinator, Meacham, who had been so long with the program at TCU as co-offensive coordinator, was let go earlier this season. Second down and 3. Williams bounces out. Boy, is he quick. How about that? Picking them up and putting them down. And the Jayhawk is deep into Oklahoma territory. Pushed out by Radley Highs.
Well, these guys right here are the ones that are out here reaching and pulling on the front. Let's put that thing in motion and show you why this little flex move is so important. 61 comes around. That's Malik Clark. He's leading the way, and then Pooka just puts him in his hip pocket and runs away from him. Barnes was the last line of defense. Number 20 back there, the safety, the free safety, a star in last week's game. Had to hold on for dear life.
They're averaging 11 yards per play on this drive, Kansas. Dom and Pookie Williams doing the damage, and this time it's Pookie. Look at him go. It's a touchdown.
What an excellent play by Dwayne Wallace, number 62. This is what we call an if block, Timmy. When that right guard ifs around, he's going to come back inside, and an instinctive back is going to find that void. Nice job of inside discerning what's going on. That is smoke through a keyhole, ladies and gentlemen. Outstanding.
A Spencerism already. Gabriel Rui with the extra point. And David Beaty, you see how this team is rallying around their coach. Would mean a lot to David. You can make a great case. While he may be losing this job, he has won over a number of other people. And Pookie may be small, but baby, he's dynamite. Taking on the Sooners for pay dirt.
It's going fast because this ball has been on the ground for Kansas much of this game. 109 yards rushing for them. That's why that clock has been ticking. Converting first downs is not something they've been strong at. They were last in the Big 12 in that category, but boy, they are showing up tonight.
Trey Brown, number 16. Look at him pop out. I think he did step out.
Yeah, he did that
around the 40, maybe 41-yard line. Kyler Murray, redshirt junior, Allen, Texas, originally at Texas A&M. What a remarkable story he is. 81% of OU's touchdowns have been scored in less than 3 minutes. That's remarkable. 51 of their 63 touchdowns were under 3 minutes. The young man is just a marvel at this position. Brooks beyond the original line of scrimmage and up to the 45, and Joe Deneen made the stop. As we take a look at your takes when Oklahoma's got the football.
Well, Trey Sermon is going to be one of the guys that get it done on the ground, but it is a beauty contest. Again, Oklahoma in the top 10 in every major statistical category in the offense, in the top 4 rushing, total yard scoring, and so forth. Jayhawks have got to defend those choice routes, though, to shut them down.
Murray with plenty of time. A wide open receiver. Lee Morris down to the 16-yard line.
Lee Morris making his dad proud. Former walk-on at Oklahoma back in the day when I played. This is his little fella, man. Wide open. He has been a prolific player down the stretch. Comes up with another huge play for the Sooners.
From the Kansas 15.
Nice.
It pops free. Kennedy Brooks down to the 5.
Well, here's the pass that set it up. Again, off coverage. You can see the huge cushion, and then the nod, and then the corner route. It's a skinny post route, a vertical route underneath, but he sits down in the flat area. That complementary route caused confusion in the back end for Kansas. They made a mistake and left the outside man wide open.
Time winding down in the first quarter. In case you were wondering, Oklahoma last went scoreless in the second game of the year against Ohio State.
Easy option.
Don't have to worry now. Touchdown, Murray.
Timmy, that looked like old school stuff. With that little white rag out the back of the head, he looked like Thomas Lott. The option route and a single man on the perimeter to dial it out. Exceptional read on the outside. You can see when the ball is snapped to him, watch the conflict that it causes. Let's freeze this guy's right here. Stop that down, and then boom, you can see the 2-man option. He fools number 1 right there and gets into the end zone for the score. That guy's got to declare who he's going to attack, and Murray made him pay for the indecision.
This is a little more like an Oklahoma possession. 4 plays, 59 yards, and a return to sender. Kyler Murray. You'd rather him throw it, believe it or not, than tote it. We'll be back. 1:19 remaining, and Kyler Murray takes his team very quickly in just 4 plays down the field to tie the game. You know, Spencer, you know, if you take a look at what this guy can do, and with Lincoln Riley calling the plays, there are times when they almost look unstoppable. And the confidence level that this young man has to go along with his coach in dialing up plays, you know, it's a little bit like, to use a professional analogy, Drew Brees working with Sean Payton. I mean, that really is what we're talking about at the collegiate level.
Beautiful job of prescriptively developing an offensive scheme to match his skill set. That's what coaching is all about, Timmy.
You talked about the offensive line for Kansas, the job that they have done thus far.
Well, that offensive line has been outstanding. Their guards have done a great job of blocking in those tight quarters, getting 5 yards on first down. Pooka doing a fantastic job of stopping and starting again, showing you his ability to separate. But it's that interior line play of Dwayne Wallace, Malik Clark inside, 61 and 62 respectively, that's been doing the job. Outstanding.
Yeah, this is a veteran group. They want to go out the right way for their head coach. They feel like they let one get away a week ago. Quick curl route to Jeremiah Booker. And he's got the first down up to the 38. They want to go quickly. Kenneth Murray, number 9, the stop, a gain of 12.
They want to go quickly because the Sooners, like many teams in the Big 12, and where you're in conferences where they throw it a lot, not doing an excellent job of tackling, Tim. That's part of the reason why you go quick. You go fast for personnel reasons, but also to take advantage of skill sets that aren't fully developed.
Bender now 3 out of 4 for 28 yards. They've primarily beaten OU on the ground. Khalil Herbert in the backfield now, but it is
backdoor.
Yeah. Trying to move ahead. And Fa'amatu is in there to make the stop. This is a young man, redshirt junior from Cerritos College by way of Norwood, California. Second down and 8, a gain of 2.
Fa'amatu did a nice job of settling down on that inside. Again, you got to, whether it's a zero technique that's directly over the center or a 1 in that A gap next to them, you got to be stout.
Stretch play to Pooka. 72 yards for him. Look at him reverse his field. Spin, baby, spin. He's just 2, maybe 3 yards shy. We'll call it 2 yards away from another first down as we come to the end of the quarter. A gain of 6. Very entertaining start, my friend.
They have been outstanding. Pooka's been leading the way.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Boomer Schooner came out thinking, let's celebrate, let's coronate. The Jayhawks have other ideas. The folks from up north coming to town. Overhead view of Owen Field here at Gaylord Memorial Family Stadium. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Holly Saunders. 3rd and 4.
3 down, 1 guy's hand up.
Go wide again. There's Pooka. Tremendous maneuver and a lot of space. I mean, that's just too easy. That's the 9th Kansas first down. Patrick Fields made the stop, and this is going just the way David Beaty orchestrated it.
Yeah, Patrick Fields is the nickel guy, so he's back there. Again, look at the relative proximity to the ball. These guys are at least 10 yards from the ball carrier. I mean, that's just one of those tough situations where you are schemed and you're in a situation where you're out of position, and it paid for it big time.
From the 33, first down. Mix up. Big mix up there on that route. Stephon Robinson, number 5, was never looking for the ball. The ball was tipped, but he wasn't even looking for the pass here.
Well, again, you got a tip pass right there. Again, that's one of the ways that you can affect the quarterback by not physically touching the quarterback. Get that big mid up there and try to make a play and impact in his face.
That's the second time Amani Bledsoe, 72, has gotten his hand on the leather. Herbert remains the setback on 2nd and 10. 3 wide receiver set with Sims up the top of your screen. He's the big ticket receiver, number 11. Herbert in some trouble this time. Great penetration up front by Hawk Perkins, number 7.
Yeah, Ronnie Perkins is playing the Sam position. Number 7 comes up and just from St. Louis, Missouri, formed tackle on the outside edge against a pretty darn good player in space. Excellent work there against Herbert by Ronnie Perkins. Inside zone, nice eyes, nothing inside, so he bounces out, gets that left paw there. Still probably could play with a lot more integrity if he plays with leverage and not have to reach and grab.
Well, they've gone wide a number of times. You begin to think maybe they'll go with something deep this time. Go with an out pattern. That's Jeremiah Booker. But he's going to be taken out inside the 30 at the 29 by Trey Norwood. Long way from the first down, so it'll be a 4th down coming up.
Well, Peyton Bender had a corner cat blit hugging him in the back. You can see coming right off the edge, and it was tough, man. Brendan Radley Hiles was coming screaming, delivered it off, but he paid a price. The shot.
All right, this will be a 45-yard try on 4th and 5. Gabriel Rui. Oh, he got all of that. Yes, he did. Connected on a career-long 54-yard field goal in the season opener. Didn't have to go quite that distance, but the Jayhawks have the lead. 10-7 our score as it's a 3-point game after that field goal by Gabriel Rui, Liam Jones, number 46, will kick it away.
Wow.
Trey Brown picked it back up, trying to make something out of what appeared to be nothing, and look out. How about that? That's a nice recovery. First down from the 46. By the way, Montgomery will return for Iowa State in the second half of that game being played in Austin. Very important. There's Brooks. Boy, just popped free after the initial contact. Gets another first down for the Sooners. Stopped by Mike Lee, who had that big strip and fumble recovery earlier.
I'm going to be critical him again of the tackles here. I think they're working inside a tag block, but here's where the hole was, right through here. I mean, even though you've got leverage on that outside, Timmy, I think you have to push it a lot more. Then that inside underneath game comes open for you.
Big time play fake, and Murray looping it deep and incomplete. Going for Calcaterra. And you think of all the greatness that they've had in the past with Andrews and company at tight end. After that run, let's take a look at what transpired here to your point.
Shows great patience, right? And so color does flash. There's a white jersey in that hole. So he makes the right decision in getting up front. But what you want to do is push that a little bit further, like we used to do the old stretch plays. When you stretch it further, that outside guy has to commit more. Then you get vertical upfield, and you'll find a gaping hole there more often than not.
Well, we just saw the second incompletion for Murray. He's 7 out of 9 for 95 yards. That's Marquise Brown in motion. 2nd and 10. Quick out to C.D. Lamb. Boy, I tell you, the Jayhawks are arriving quickly, aren't they? And in a bad humor. That's a gain of 7, but Lipscomb, the first to make contact, had quite a bit of help from Shaq Taylor, number 8.
Timmy, I want you to take a look at the pull scheme here that's working. This looks like a run play if you're looking in the box, but they throw the ball off of this. This is one of the things that Lincoln Riley does to set up the 4th and the 3rd quarter of games. Make it look like it's a run play. You see that action as a defender, you start to do that. Then they come back counter to that same side. This is an excellent job, and it's one of the reasons why he's one of the greatest minds in college sports right now. So creative and creating scenarios that are tough to defend.
3rd down and 3. Shallow cross. There it is to C.D. Lamb for the first down. A little look in, quick slant if you want to call it that, but it was money.
Well, it's virtually impossible to cover this because, again, it's just a pivot upfield. As you said, a quick slant, look-in route. He gets upfield. The ball is placed right there. The defender is behind him in his hip pocket. Nothing you can do to defend that play. Excellent pitch and catch. Shaquille Taylor didn't have a chance at that left corner position.
Well, you see Lamb, he's good for moving those chains, isn't he?
He was a star a couple years ago. They've got so much depth in this offense at receiver for the Sooners.
He's been overshadowed a little bit.
He has.
Because of the great statistics that others, including Murray, have had. Off the zone,
wide
open, touchdown, Carson Meyer.
There's a late flag. You know, Tim, sometimes when you think you got help over the top, Murray with the ride in the mesh, he goes up into the line of scrimmage to sell it even more. You know, if you're covering this guy that's going to be working that center route, you're thinking it's a cover 2 behind you. There's a safety back there. There's no help. That's miscommunication between the front and the back end of this Jayhawk defense.
As good as Austin Seibert is, and he gets him through for touchbacks most of the time, 15 yards further back on the kickoff should give Kansas a chance for a return. But OU has taken the lead, the 33rd in the air for Kyler Murray. And the able fullback H-back on the receiving end. 14-10. You want to see what happened? What did Cody Ford do? Check out the little sucker nudge into the midsection. Boom.
Yeah, Cody gave him a shot right there. You know, hey, it may have been a little bit of an acting job on the fall, but you can't hit him. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. A little bad blood maybe spilling over from last year.
Yeah, you may recall what happened before the game when they refused to shake the hand of Baker Mayfield. And by the way, David Beaty addressed that with us before the game when we chatted with him the other day. And he made no bones about it. It was something that he was not proud of. Certainly doesn't want that to ever happen with a program that he's with. But we can't lose sight of this, though. Baker Mayfield struggled in that first half in Lawrence. It was 10-7
Yeah, you can't ignore that. You absolutely did.
Pooka WIlliams and Khalil Herbert are back deep. This is high into the air, and it will be taken by Herbert at the 34.
He's going to play coverage with the 2-deep look.
Bender's pass is caught. Crossing pattern. He's got his man, Kerr Johnson Jr. And the senior from Santa Rosa, California, with a 25-yard gain.
Well, the weak part of the field is the middle of the field. Again, almost fell down, but just find that soft spot against that 2 coverage, 2 deep safeties outside the hash. The weakest part of the field is in the middle. The eyes are looking for him. Didn't have to come off of him and move it on the spot. Just locked in on him and delivered a strike.
Now that's a confident throw by Bender,
sure
isn't it?
Sure is.
From the 44-yard line of Oklahoma.
Misread there.
Yep. Busted play, and Bender will just eat it. Amatu, coming away with the tackle. Dillon has been very active early in this game. Maybe a loss of about a half yard to about a yard. Amatu.
It happens, Timmy. Ooh. Goes the opposite direction. You know, you hate it when it happens. The back goes one way, Herbert goes that way. Wait a minute. You're riding and meshing, and again, Herbert didn't even think he was getting the ball. He had the wrong call altogether. It happens from time to time.
Sort of like our rehearsals on occasion. 2nd and 10.
Let's see how they respond to it, though. That's the key.
Bender's pass underneath, caught by Saunders, the tight end. Now a quick word from Duracell. I did get in the spirit. I did hear the fa la 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 la. Did you hear that?
I felt your power.
Yeah. Something tells me we will hear from Duracell again. 3rd down and 6. Pressure off the corner, and the pass is caught and spun down. Pooka WIlliams all popped out of there. So did Pooka down to the 39-yard line. So a pickup of 5. 4th and 6 coming up. That's Kenneth Murray with the tackle.
Yeah, Kenneth's the middle linebacker, but here's where the pressure's coming off the backside. And again, trying to avoid it. Trey Norwood providing that pressure. Open field tackling, a better job by the
elbow down
Sooners.
right there. A Kansas team now that does have the win behind them, so they need to get this 1st down on 4th and 6, at least get themselves in position for points. With the win behind their kicker, Gabriel Ruiz already kicked a 45-yarder. First things first, though, it's 4th down. They swing it out, pass incomplete, and it was pretty well defended, too. I'm not sure if Pooka WIlliams had caught it, if he would have gotten the 1st down, because Oklahoma had that one covered rather well.
Yeah, they did do a nice job. Jordan Parker was back there as well, and I think part of it was the ball was out, but the pressure was what affected him. You got Curtis Bolton back there at the wheel position, got a hand on him, and kind of forced the issue.
Ruffin McNeil, the new defensive coordinator, former head coach at East Carolina. Give him a little high five action. What a wonderful man. One of my favorite people in all of college football. And of course, Lincoln was with him. He was after him when he was working for Bronco Mendenhall at Virginia. And now in what would be deemed the twilight of his career, he's back together again with someone he loves dearly, and that's Lincoln Riley. Kennedy Brooks in the backfield as they take over on downs. Here comes pressure, and Kyler's just got to get rid of this one. Outstanding pressure coming from Issy Holani, number 6. And Ruffin, Spencer, I don't know how he lost his job at East Carolina after the job he did there. That's number 1.
The offensive numbers they put up was off the chart.
Yeah.
The defense was solid. I'm still scratching my head, but they say, Tim, it's tough to go home.
It is.
That old proverb about a prophet's words being well received in a foreign land than his home territory. That applies to him because I'm still scratching my head about that.
Tell you what, Pat Dye's still proud of him. I'll tell you that.
You better believe it.
Pat coached him at East Carolina before going to Auburn in his Hall of Fame career. Murray looking and incomplete, intended for Calcaterra. We're going to get a marker. We will. Mike Lee was back there with him. Yeah, and I think Kansas is really upset about this one.
Yeah, there was a little hand jousting going on there, but I think number 11, the free safety, Mike Lee, as you said, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, was back there with a little extra hand. Yeah, I think, it's...
I don't know. They're allowing a lot of
jousting going on
jousting.
there.
Tell you, Clint
Pass
Brown.
interference. Defense. Number 1. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Clint Bowen really disagrees with this one, and you don't see him offer up that kind of argument. He was running right alongside his defender.
But they called it on number 1. That would have been Bryce
Correction,
Tornado.
number 11.
No, it's 11.
Yeah.
He just corrected himself. Now, you see right at the top of your screen, that's Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator.
But what he's raking is using that left hand to rake his right hand off of him. It could have been offensive pass interference.
I agree. On 1st and 10, Brooks ahead. Joe Deneen making the stop. With what's been allowed so far in this game and in other games we've seen, to me, that was a no call.
Listen, I think this has been a heck of a first half for Kansas. I mean, over the last decade, they've been averaging right about 7 points against Oklahoma. I mean, they're sitting here with 10.5 and an edge in overall yards to this point. It's been impressive. Looks a lot like last year's game in terms of overall yards in the first half.
Murray. Well, they're trying to keep him in his lane, but this is where he thrives. Look at that.
Wow.
Just look at that. It's Marquise Brown. He's still on his feet. Hello. How do you do? It's a first down.
Man, this is like a circus. It's amazing what this guy can do off of what should have been play action in a minimal game. He keeps the play alive.
Look at that.
And all of that motion inside the tackles, and then he finally releases the ball. It's almost like he understands what his weakness is, and he's going to continue to push the ball downfield and not have to run it. Absolutely amazing.
After the play, Daniel Wise, number 96, just came over and gave him a high five. You just have to tip your cap and appreciate the talent you're going up against. Wise is an amazing nose, and he knew that was just Kyler being Kyler. 1st and 10. Brooks burrows down near the 30-yard line.
Daniel Wise and all those guys up front. I mean, that's just one of those plays, man. You can see Brown doing a nice job of working the route to stay open. The comebacker, he looks over and sees his quarterback is in trouble, and he's taught to go vertical. If the boundary's not there, he's going to turn that vertical or come back underneath.
That's a quick out route. And the connection to Charleston Rambo, number 14, the redshirt freshman from Cedar Hill, Texas.
Yeah, but I don't care how good a condition you're in, man. You're going to be left panting like a lizard on a hot rock after that kind of play. I'm telling you.
A lizard on a hot rock, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You ever seen one of those?
Yeah, actually I have.
Yeah, your spotter's from Arizona. He's seen a few of those.
Yeah.
Brett Bender has.
We've got them in Louisiana too.
Yeah.
Spencerism number 3 in the first half. Brooks, first down. Just an amazing play by Murray.
Well, you can't script it. That's the thing about it. Again, you don't know what to do from a defensive standpoint. You start putting your head on a swivel. And he gets hit after all of that and still is able to do it. Shows you nice little sportsmanship, a little love there.
Daniel Wise.
How about that, Daniel Wise?
Yeah, he's a great young man, a fantastic leader for this team.
He is the leader.
Yeah, his dad played for the Saints. Yep. His dad, Dietrich, and also the BC Lions.
Double gap.
Quick out to Brown. Quick feet. Oh, yeah. It's 1st and goal. And that's why Kansas needed to convert that 4th down earlier. That's 13 yards and a first.
I call this the O-snap screen. You know, you got a lot of bodies up in front, and to be able to just sift through all of that trash and garbage in there, that's what it's set up for. Not to the wide side of the field where you got a lot of room to navigate. It's just the opposite concept. Still trying to get the ball in the guy's hands, but boy, it's a tighter phone booth kind of arrangement, but you're still expecting the superior athlete to make a play, and he did.
To your point, the Jayhawks have defended Murray about as well as you can,
Oh, yeah.
and yet he's 13 of 16. And has made a couple of big-time plays here on this drive. Brooks spun down at about the 7. Shaq Taylor, number 8. Junior college transfer from Mesa Community College.
Nice little two-guard play, a little concept that Lincoln Riley likes to do. Guys are blocking down, and the right guards are going the opposite direction.
2nd and goal. Brooks remains the setback. CeeDee Lamb is to the bottom of your screen. Brooks, it's wide open. Touchdown. 10th rushing touchdown for Kennedy Brooks.
What a job by Creed Humphrey here, reaching the guy who's got his outside eye. He tries to shed him away. Wrong decision. But when you feel a defensive player try to go in opposite direction, and you know as the guard that the play is designed to go that way, you'd let him go. He's helping you out. I mean, it's just great instinct by Creed.
Seibert with the extra point for the half. But the Sooners lead it 21-10. Well, let's send you now to Rob Stone in Los Angeles for the State Farm halftime show. At halftime in Norman, Oklahoma, number 6 in the country, leading 21-10 over the Kansas Jayhawks, along with Holly Saunders downstairs. Spencer Tillman in the booth. That wind keeps whipping down the plains, doesn't it? Now, let me tell you something. That Oklahoma offense will keep whipping it, too. Even when you shut them down for the most part, and Kansas did okay, man, they're creative.
Well, that creativity can lead to confusion. I think that's kind of what happened on this particular play. When you look at Bryce Tornadian, he's the nickel back that comes in there. Look, he's trying to protect himself by covering this guy. We call this a green dog technique. If that back does not come out of the backfield, typically he is going to be blitzing. But because he does nothing, it tells me he doesn't understand his coverage. There's no one behind him. Meantime, just look at Carson Meyer. The back that was in the H-back position, the fullback wide open, splitting the difference there. And again, Coach Clint Bowen is going to give him a little information, a little talking to on that particular play right there.
When you look at our Geico first half stats, look at those rushing yardage. Pooka WIlliams due in large measure to that, as the guys back in the studio documented for you. And the kick is not going to be brought back. A touchback as Miles T says takes a knee. And let's go down to Holly Saunders, who talked with both coaches.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. I talked to Coach Riley, and he said that touchdown before half was absolutely huge. He said that's huge for their momentum. In this half, they're really going to work on getting separation. He said that's something they struggled with here in the last couple of games. Separation was key, but they're going to have to try and do it, Tim, without Trey Sermon. He's on the sidelines. He has a boot on his left foot. We will not be seeing him the second half.
Yeah, this is the ankle that was the problem, and it happened on that opening series, Holly. And that meant Kennedy Brooks had to tote it. And he's the only scholarship back that they have available to them. The others aren't dressed. There's some pressure, but Murray got away. The pass is picked. Shaq Taylor comes down with it. What an athletic play by Shaq Taylor. And the Jayhawks get just what they need. Brian Lipscomb, 58, with the pressure. And that thwarted this effort by Murray.
He was looking for C.D. Lamb out there. First of all, the pressure helped him. And then he came all the way back to the opposite side of the field where he had a man open, but that ball was underthrown. Excellent job of identifying, and as you said, Timmy, climbing the ladder and going up and getting and pulling it down by Shaquille Taylor.
Now that is a tilt play, and David Beaty knows it. And Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator, so concerned at the end of the first half, gets the electric play his defense had to get to open the second half. I think we're going to see a little Williams and Herbert here on the quick curl. It's Steven Sims, who's been quiet tonight. And this is a go-to receiver. He had 5 receptions for 113 yards, a touchdown. His 8th career 100-yard game against K-State a week ago.
You know, Holly was talking about, separation and things of that nature. When you have this big of a cushion, your separation is already created. Oklahoma's got to either affect the quarterback with the pass rush, Curtis Bolden at the wheel position. Somebody's got to get after this quarterback. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. Now they're going to press look up front.
Herbert. Good penetration that time by Bolton to make the stop. Khalil Herbert, by the way, young man, junior from Pearl Springs, Florida. Spencer, he was born with additional fingers on his hands. 6 fingers on each hand, also had an additional toe. Got rid of that in his infancy. And you know what? The young man has done a very good job of growing into the position, and he doesn't turn the ball over very often. Season high 91 yards on 21 carries against Iowa State. 2nd and 12.
Real soft coverage for Oklahoma.
Bender, plenty of time. On the check down goes to Pooka. Look at him. He just won't go down. He will not go down. Pooka WIlliams says, I'll see you, and I'll move it.
That was a self-tackle. You thought Curtis Bolton, the will, had him down and dead to rights. Pooka slips out of there. Man, this guy is just like...
He's doing a Kyler Murray impression.
Look at him.
He's doing
He's a
doing
whirling dervish. I mean, Curtis Bolton tried to mount him, man. He was hoping for an 8-second ride, but he got bucked off by Pooka.
I thought
Pooka looking like bodacious out there.
Well, that's an impression of Kyler Murray back there. Look at those yards. 155 total, 18 receiving. Herbert back in the game. 3rd down and 4. Herbert got a first down. Spun down by Kenneth Murray.
Murray was on the receiving end of that blow. I mean, again, you got to back this running with significant leverage. Even if you're a middle linebacker like Kenneth Murray plays, he's about 232 out of Missouri City, Texas. Saw him play a lot of ball in Southwest Houston, but he got it taken to him on that play. And again, it's just about physical play, man. This is impressive what Kansas is doing on this drive.
I think a lot of people around the press box at halftime were saying this. Gosh, I didn't know Kansas was that good. They're looking pretty good tonight. Out pattern to Sims again. Another first down for the Jayhawks.
Hey, but for a lost fumble late in the game last week, they probably beat Kansas State, man. This team is not very far away from being a decent team. Nice job of moving after the catch to make a guy miss for additional yardage. Find that line to gain for a first.
Led KU in both receptions and receiving yards and averaged a career best 14.2 yards a catch a year ago. 15 first downs now for KU. Herbert. Khalil gets it down to the 2, maybe the 3. Wow. I think they'll spot it at the 3-yard line.
Inside zone is vogue. Coach Beaty wants another one. He's calling the plays now.
Beginning to understand why Holly Saunders said that Coach said that the next guy is going to be lucky to get this job. Khalil Herbert with a touchdown. And Kansas right now does look like a team playing with an edge. You know, we began our show with that conversation piece with the coach.
Well, Timmy, let's see the guard pulls here. Let's see what they do to make this play work. Nice job of bouncing it outside. It was really just the speed there, outrunning Trey Norwood on the outside that got him in there. The guard did his job, just to mush inside. Nothing there, so the inside zone designed for inside was able to spill because of the speed.
I think a lot of people felt, I know I did, if Oklahoma scores, then look out, this game could be done. But this play right here, a 14-point swing. If OU scores, you're down 18. Instead, you get the pilfer, and you're only down 4. It's game on for KU. Well, that last Murray interception was only his 6th all season. He has his 33rd touchdown thrown earlier, and you see what happened with Herbert with that magnificent run set up by the Shaq Taylor interception. And those takeaways and points off, Spencer, adding up now for Kansas.
Always has been the great equalizer and always will continue to be.
Trey Brown pushed back at the 23-yard line. That's just underway, 3rd quarter. And now the Sooners, we'll see if that explosive offense can come back to the headlines. Kennedy Brooks, but remember, they are playing with 1 scholarship running back only, so not a lot of help for Kyler Murray.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to be tracking here is what the Sooners do on first down in terms of yards. Traditionally, it's a running play. Again, 4 yards is typically what they had on that particular play there, but we'll see what they're able to register the rest of the way out.
2nd and 6, that's CD Lamb,
option game.
Yep. Marquise Brown was in motion. They come back with the option to Kennedy Brooks towards the boundary, and he's undercut by Mike Lee, but it's a first down for the Sooners.
It looks like a decent play, but you know, if you had one of your Fleetfoot backs in there that's able to run, that play right there is turned into one that hits the other end of the goalpost, man. It's about speed and getting to the edge.
Brooks is up to 104 yards now. Out of the shotgun, Murray lets it fly, and it's Marquise Brown for a first down. Into Kansas territory at the 48, 15 yards.
Hassan defense again was working number 13 back in the back end. He got turned around, and too much separation between the ball and the defender there for him. You know, when a guy gets turned around like that, man, it's just like stealing. The ball moves faster than the body. There's no way he can recover once he gets turned around.
14 of 18 for 178, a touchdown and a pick for Murray. Out route caught. That's CD Lamb.
Well, they like that deep out, man, and that's a dangerous pass. It's really another version of the one that got intercepted with even tighter coverage out there. You got to really be careful if you want to make that next level type throw.
A little more woofing there between Bobby Evans and Wise at the end of this play in that interior alignment.
Goes over the top of that cover 2 look. Again, a near guy up, but once again, that was a defense that looked like it was able to cover it. And Hassan defense was back there in position. Just got over his head.
5 catches for 52 for Lamb. Your pre-snap read was perfect. Murray again, lots of time, and now just heaves it out of there. Outside the tackle box, so no marker. Marquise Brown, the intended receiver, but it sailed way over his head.
Tim, what's clear to me is Clint Bowen, the defensive coordinator for Kansas, did his homework in the first half. He's come out with a second half kind of mindset where he's more aggressive, has great integrity in what they're doing, and he's getting the push up front that's creating pressure and doing exactly what they told us they wanted to do against this great quarterback, Kyler Murray.
You know, Clint, as we said, goes all the way back to the great days, you know, when Reesing was at quarterback and KU was actually in 2008 with Mark Mangino playing in a 1-2 game against Chase Daniel. Went through the mess with Charlie Weiss, was an interim coach for a period of time, but Beaty got the job, kept him as DC. There goes Brooks. Inside the 10, down to the 9. It'll be 1st and goal as Lipscomb makes the stop. That's a 14-yard gain.
Well, it's about instincts. Murray, inside zone read. Brooks does a nice job of pushing upfield. This is what you need to do. Push the edge as much as you can. It's tough for a defender to change direction when you see where you want to go. He must react to you, and this is just good instinctive running by a guy that doesn't have blazing speed, but he's got instincts, does Brooks.
Ball is at the 9-yard line. Brooks now with 123 on the ground. You see the current drive now, 68 yards. They've held the ball for over 4 minutes. Option.
Yeah, they played that option well.
Yeah, and he just took a seat. Nice thought by Kyler. Fans wanted a late flag as he took his seat, but you could see that Cody Cole III pulled up.
Well, the option game, that was an easy touchdown in the first half. Not so much here. They played it well. Slide, slide, slide. Great pitch relationship is there, but they take it away on the opposite end. Fantastic job by Bryce Tornaden and all those guys playing the option game well.
He led with his hands. Boo Birds were out, but there's no call on that. 2nd and goal. Trips to the top of your screen. In the corner, through the hands of CD Lamb.
You know, that's, again, you let the ball climb on you like that.
He knows
we'll have another look at it. You pluck that ball out of the air. CD Lamb lets this ball hit his pads. You see how he lets it climb on him? Go pluck that out of the air. And Tyler Murray's disappointed in it because he hit him on the mark.
He did. Well, that's his first miss. He's been targeted 6 times. That's the first one that he hasn't caught. So 3 for 4 on 3rd down tonight, and that's what they face. 3rd and goal. Brooks remains the setback.
Nice little sugar look going on here. All that means is they're giving him some sense of blitzing coming, and they're going to come too.
Yeah, here they come, right up the gut. Kyler Murray in trouble. He'll do it on his own. There he goes. Touchdown.
Timmy, when you take bad angles, Azur Kamara, the left defensive end, number 5, tough for a guy like that to change directions. He's 6'4", 225 pounds, and again, the leverage wouldn't allow him to come back. The hesitation by Zamara, watch him come upfield, bites on it. That guy right there is too fast to try to redirect and catch him.
Spencer, as he's coming off the field, he's hobbling a little bit, Murray.
Well, this Kansas Jayhawk defense has been touching him up a little bit.
They have. He may just be a little bit tired after a couple of plays he had to make there. 9th rushing touchdown, his 2nd today. 42 total yards. But the Sooners now up 11 again, 28-17. You see Kyler Murray on one knee. His coach came over to see him. I think he may be more tired than anything else. He had to tote it quite a bit there. And you see his evening graphically. 15 of 22 for 191. That was his 42nd touchdown.
You're going to make the point about the fans up top. This is a win. It's about 15 degrees cooler up there, by the way.
Yeah, and it is cold. It has gotten much colder as the game has progressed. Here goes Pooka WIlliams. He's out beyond the 30 to the 33. Timeout, 5:32 remaining. Jayhawks trying to hang tough against number 6, Oklahoma. They can move him around a lot, especially with Herbert in there. They swing it out to Steven Sims, a little wide receiver inside bubble screen.
Yep.
Gets a little bit in front of Trey Norwood, number 13, a sophomore from Fort Smith, Arkansas, Northside High School.
I had a chance to see Steven Sims. He's a junior out of Houston, Texas. He's a little small guy, about 5'10", 176, but he's so dangerous. That's why they were trying to get the ball to him on those little slim seam routes, and then, of course, on the screen as well.
2nd down and 9. Tell you, they gave the reins to Bender earlier in the year, Spencer, and he has quietly gone about the business of being very effective. Herbert helps, as does Pooka WIlliams, no question about that.
Well, Tim, in a year when there's been so much instability, I think it was early October when Coach Beaty fired Doug Meacham and took over the play calling duties himself. So you look at how much change has been a part of this offense. To be able to have any continuity whatsoever, the new head coach that comes in, it will have been 4 different head coaches since 2000. So a lot of instability. We know that continuity makes for good, solid football teams.
3rd down and 4. Another one that's tipped around the line of scrimmage yet again. That's the 3rd time Amani Bledsoe has time to throw from Peyton Bender and knocked it back.
Yeah, the truth be known, Amani Bledsoe, great job there, number 72. But for the most part, Tim, it's been a mixed bag for him. On the run games, Kansas has been able to get outside of him on some substantial runs. So not able to get to the quarterback, at least he can affect him by getting his hands up in the air.
Kyle Thompson will be called upon to punt. CeeDee Lamb is back deep, awaiting at his 20-yard line.
Opportunity for a decent return here.
Pretty good coverage, but Lamb knows where to go, and you're right. They got out of their lanes, and he takes the edge. Look at this. All the way back to near midfield. 46-yard boot. 28-yard return. Sooners looking to go for the jugular when we come back. CD says see ya. Play fake. Here he is again, looping it, finding his man, Carson Meyer. They love to find Meyer coming out of the backfield out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. You know, he runs those wheel routes with aplomb.
He scored on the seam, of course, earlier in the half.
He did.
Showing you the elusiveness, again, stand within the pocket to find and create. Nice little outcut there. Meyer does a nice job of getting downfield after the completion.
Ball at the 32-yard line. Meyer, by the way, 3 receptions for 19 yards. That was his 3rd reception for 19. He's got 49 on the night. And Brooks takes it down to about the 26-yard line. A sound defense with the stop. To put it in perspective, Oklahoma's explosive offense, take a look at this.
Yeah, these guards pulling, that's been the ticket for Lincoln Riley this half. And again, those backs have to be instinctive. Just excellent job of moving upfield. Cody Ford, who had some issues in the half with penalties, but on that play, he was really, really assignment conscious. Did a nice job.
From the 26, it's 2nd and 4. Looping it for Lamb. Tipped into the air, almost intercepted too. It falls incomplete.
Lamb's had a couple opportunities to make plays in that corner over there. That one was defense exceptionally well. Outstanding play on the back end. It was CeeDee Lamb is a tremendous athlete, physically gifted, able to go up and climb and make plays happen, but good defense is good defense.
Kyle Mayberry made that play, the junior from Tulsa. 3rd down and 4. I think he may have gotten a little dinged on that play, Lamb. Curl caught at the 18 by Rambo. They'll actually say he got to the 17-yard line.
And Mayberry defending on that play, but you see CD kind of gimping, getting up, taps himself out in the helmet. Got some issues, so He's a tough cat, though. He'll come back if he can.
Kansas really needs to hold Oklahoma to 3 here. You want to have any chance of making a run against the Sooners. You don't want to fall behind by 3 scores.
Well, Sooners can be lethal inside the red area. I mean, because the playbook actually expands because of the skill set of number 1.
Look at that time he's got.
Wow.
And he's finally hauled down. That's a coverage sack right there.
I mean, what does that tell you about what Clint Bowen's guys are doing on the back end, man? I mean, the coverage is just like a blanket. Off coverage on the outside. Again, both corners, eye discipline is unbelievable. In the flat area, they're playing boundary. The shallow underneath, they are just assignment conscious, not going to be fooled by the route combinations by the Sooners.
You see Holani wound up making the tackle. First sack of the night by either team.
You know, Coach Clint said there's a couple things they need to do, and one of them is to take away the route combinations of choice. That was an example of it.
2nd and 13, they swing it out to Brooks. Taken out inside the 15-yard line.
You know, the Sooners do about 5 things really well, and they do them out of multiple formations, but there are about 5 route combinations that if you can get your guys to hone in it, you can have success against them.
Gain of 7, so it's 3rd down and 6. Now this is an offense that averages 0.74 points for every offensive play this year. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
And Kansas has done a remarkable job tonight of extending them to the extent that they could.
Now they got numbers to the field where they want to go with the ball.
Brooks, look out. Touchdown.
Nice. Tim, has been a steady appetite of this 2-guard pulling scheme right here. This is what Lincoln Riley likes a lot because those guys are mobile. They can get up in there and make tremendous plays and then be kind of like escorts. Cody Ford, once again, the right tackle, does a nice job, not just pulling from assignment, but finishing on the back end to make the last block on that play. Look at him on Cody Ford pushing on Lee. I mean, he was on the front end of that as a pulling tackle and then closing. That's what you call end-to-end solution in the run game.
Seibert. Mr. Brooks is having some fun tonight. Yeah. 35-17 our score here. Oklahoma with the lead. And the party is on here at Gaylord Family Memorial Stadium. The ones that decided that it wasn't too cold are enjoying themselves. We have a different kicker for Oklahoma rather than Seibert. It's going to be Caleb Sutherland. Excuse me, I beg your pardon, that's Levi Draper. And Squibbit. He comes up to the 39-yard line. The old dueling numbers at work again. That's Caleb Sutherland. Pooka WIlliams in the backfield. Here's the problem for Kansas. They've been most effective running the ball, and now the clock is against them. You see Khalil Herbert ahead for 6, so it's 2nd down and 4. You want to control the ball, Spencer, and that's fine, but now you're down by 3 scores.
Yeah, you want to put the ball in the air at some point in time, but again, I just think we got to give this Kansas team a lot of credit for the way that they've managed themselves and coming off a heartbreaking loss, been pretty efficient for the most part, made the Sooners play left-handed on defense.
Second and 4.
Sooners trying to show them a blitz look.
Pooka WIlliams pops it again. There he goes. Corralled inside the 15. They're going to mark it near the 10. Robert Barnes finally took him down.
Robert, as he has been on a couple of times, the last line of defense. You better watch out, because this guy right there can take it to the house to you, Timmy. Pooka means business. Sicken Pooka.
The open play in the 4th quarter with Kansas on the move. As you see what Pooka WIlliams has done tonight. That last run was for 45 yards. Jayhawks need a score to hang in there because you got to figure Oklahoma is going to score almost every time they touch it. Wide receiver screen. Herb Johnson, look at the Sooners just smell that one out. I mean, it looked good early, but Motley got there in a hurry, and he got a lot of help.
Yeah, there was a Motley crew over there helping him out, too. About 5, 6 different Sooners helped him out, man, to make a play on the short side of the field. That's what you talk about when you talk about proximity to the ball.
Carter Stanley, Spencer, has checked into the game. So you got to figure a little change up here for something that they have designed. Carter, the junior from Vero Beach, Florida, with Pooka WIlliams behind him. And that's why they decided to go this route. Look at that. It is Booker. And they're going to say touchdown. That's why you go with Stanley. Pooka WIlliams with the toss. David Beaty got what he wanted.
Then you have the kind of run game success that Pooka WIlliams has had. It attracts a lot of attention. Barnes is back there trying to defend. But that ball was thrown like it should have been thrown by a quarterback. It's right on the spot. The only place it could have been caught.
Right foot, the officials say, was down. Let's take a close look right here. Right there. Touchdown.
Well, the side judge was behind it, but he would track it all the way out of bounds.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he had control of the football.
Absolutely.
He wanted to make sure that control of the football was there.
You can't throw that ball any better than that.
Pooka WIlliams with the toss, and you're right. That's right where only one guy could catch it. His teammate. Yes, sir, says David Beaty. Looking at Pooka WIlliams there, the pride of Hanville, Marrero, Louisiana. And you think about what great talent from Louisiana plays outside the state. This is yet another example. Oh, by the way, a touch of irony. The next head coach at Kansas reportedly may be someone that knows a thing or two about the state of Louisiana. Keep that. You see the wind is a factor here. This is going to be Tease. He calls for the fair catch, so they'll bring it out to the 25. Next, Brooks remains in the backfield. Play fake. Murray.
Tough throw, man.
That ball is tipped.
That's a tough throw.
Crowd responding. Loneker tipped it. And by the way, the moment the ball was tipped, it didn't matter if there was contact with the wide receiver, as there was prematurely right there.
This is the third time they tried to throw this route into this type of coverage, and I understand it's part of your game plan, but real time, when they defend that, one of them resulted in an interception. 2 of them were close calls, that latest one being one of them. Coach, you gotta take a look at that, because that deep over is a wicked route against the type of coverage that they've obviously figured out.
2nd down and 10. Quarterback draw all the way.
Design draw, yeah.
Why not? Look at him go.
You're not going to catch him.
That's why Kyler Murray is the best player in college football.
Timmy, you know, they talk about running where they ain't, and Lincoln Riley knows how to dial it up exactly the way he wants it. The guards, there's no one over them. Sets up the draw. All you need is one downfield block from Brooks. You got that. Now everybody else is in his hip pocket. You ain't going to catch that guy right there.
99 yards on the night for him after that rushing touchdown of 75.
Well, he may not have been. Wow, there's a block there.
Yeah, Seibert, a rare miss. This can be returned, by the way. This is live. Would count 2 if it's taken back.
He's got a few bodies.
Horion, or Dalen Charlotte, trying to return it, and he is stopped around the 33-yard line. I know what they're saying in Alabama. Kyler's had to play 4th quarters. Our guy hasn't. But for me, he's the best right now. Here's why Kyler Murray is our fourth unstoppable player, Spencer.
Bryce Tornaton is a safety here, drops back. You're going to see him drive on this ball. He needs to be taking this angle. Instead, he comes as this angle, and there's a price to be paid from that. He takes it absolutely away from you. That's what Kyler Murphy is about. He's just unbelievable, Tim. The way he affects a defense in terms of scheme, he affects you that way, but individual players who think you got him into your gun sight, he steals an angle away from you and just embarrasses you.
And I got to tell you, talking with Clint Bowen, he says, you'd really rather him pass it than run it. We're not going to invite him to run the ball. But now, and we should point out, they don't have T.J. Pledger available. He's dressed, but he's not going to play tonight. Pooka WIlliams will bring it back. We talked with Lincoln Riley about that, and he's not able to go. And now they're in trouble. They've only got one back, so let the quarterback run it. Let's go. Sooners lead by 17. So Kansas in must-score mode, as they have been much of the way tonight. That pass incomplete, intended for Booker.
Kansas had something working there, a little switch screen there with the balls off the mark. Can't pay it off. Barnes in the coverage there, number 20. Looks good in that number, man.
I do recall a number 20, and you also wore 34 here at Oklahoma. You changed. You always wanted Billy's number, is that right?
I did. I wanted Billy Sims. We had a guy named Jerome Ledbetter who had it. And Coach Switcher let him go, but the minute he got out of there, I got it.
2nd and 10.
Wow.
Incomplete. Miscommunication there. Kurt Johnson Jr. did not look back for the ball. Speaking of little Spencer Tillman, look at him go. Whether it was Gary Bender on the call or Keith Jackson, look at little Spencer Tillman go.
That was against Kansas, right?
He is a high-stepping young man from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That was a little mutter, though.
Look at those quick, choppy steps. Yeah, boy. Up and over the top, the leap against Nebraska. Oh, boy.
Got to do what you got to do, my man.
3rd down and 10. Bender's pass incomplete. Boy, they're screaming for an interference call. They're not going to get it. Trey Norwood, he timed that one up either really, really good or got away with one.
He really did. Jeremiah Booker was the intended receiver, but Norwood was just showing athleticism. You can see number 13 in the slot. He drives on this ball. That's just that left hand may have been on the back, but I don't think it had any impact. He wasn't going to throw a flag on that play.
It was an athletic play. Booker's like, yeah, where's the little yellow hanky? CeeDee Lamb will await the punt for Kyle Thompson. Pressure.
Oh,
they got it. Pa-boom. It's on the ground. Picked up by Bolton. It's touchdown.
There is no foul for roughing the kicker. The player that hit the kicker blocked the ball. Touchdown.
That was a jailbreak, Spencer. Right up the gut. There were 3 guys that could have gotten a hand on it. Bolton was also in there. He was one of them.
I think it was
81.
Braden
Willis that got his hand in there, and then Bolton scooped it up and took it in for the touchdown.
Braden Willis was the widest guy out there, and he was almost pulled off at the last second, fearing he was going to run into the kicker, but had the presence of mind, as you said,
Boom, right? Second blocked this year. Both went for touchdowns. Thompson had no chance.
Yeah, but just got that right in there. It's an excellent job of just poking it out. Braden Willis, it's not necessarily form. They usually teach you to take the ball off the foot, extend your hands out there, but he felt like he was too close, and to avoid the penalty, he just stuck that right paw out there. It's one of the most dreaded sounds in special teams.
Got the little Superman jersey working. Does Bolton, the senior out of California. So many almosts. The coach has only won a couple of conference games during his tenure. 6-40 overall coming in. Took out pattern. Dangerous pass, but it's caught by Booker. He's into Oklahoma territory. Shoved out at the 42-yard line. A gain of 22. Tell you, this They're not giving up, boy. They are going to coach until game's end.
Yeah, Brendan Radley-Hiles was the nickel guy in there, number 44. Took a gamble and tried to dive and make a play on the ball, but that's when you're playing man coverage like that, there's no recourse, man. You got to make a play.
That's Buki. You see Booker now with 5
almost
catches.
made a boo-boo.
Yeah. Pooka WIlliams,
nice,
little stop and go. How about that stop and go? Stop and go again. I'll show you. I'll go you. Touchdown, Kansas. I mean, that was just incredible. That is one of those. I know Kyler Murray may be the best player in the country, but let me show you what I can do play.
End-to-end play right here. Just watch the patience that he shows here on this play. Again, leverage. He waits just enough to get through there. Barnes is in his hip pocket already. High steps it out of that, cuts and makes another guy. Barnes on the second time to make a play on him. I'm telling you, man, that's outstanding. Just outstanding piece of running right there.
Pooka, 224 yards tonight, 2 touchdowns. And a pass for an opportunity and a touchdown. I mean, that's just an amazing run right there. You know, the ability to stutter step and then stop and go, Spence, that's incredible. They're going to go for 2 here to try to make it a 2-score game after the long break. And you see the 2 wide receivers flanked to the bottom of your screen there, actually 3. And it's Sims in motion. Sims will get it and then pitch it to Herbert.
Well-designed play.
How about that?
Wow.
Well, they had that 2-point play in their hip pocket. Really well designed. 48-32. It's a 2-possession game well into the night. How about this design? Sims with a quick pitch. Herbert says, I'll take it in. Pooka WIlliams is putting on a show, the likes of which they generally don't see in these parts unless it's Kyler Murray.
Don't tug on Superman's cape, boy. I tell you, he's something else
He
tonight.
has been incredible. Pride of Hahnville and in Aurora, Louisiana, they are jumping up and down about the play of him tonight.
Pretty darn nice.
Great to see Joe Castiglione, the director of athletics here. At renovation, we were here for Bedlam, the end of the 2016 season, and I recall Joe saying, well, that's where the pool will be, and well, we actually could see the pool down.
Yeah, it was nice. Did you see the little red fedora he had on tonight?
Yes, he
it was
did.
Really nice.
Jeff Long, the new athletic director at Kansas, was working with Joe at one time in his career.
Got him wide open, Timmy.
Yes, he does.
Just
And he missed him.
overthrows him.
Yep. There have been 2 times tonight where he's missed Marquise Brown when he's been wide open. Other than that, Murray is incredibly accurate. I've only seen him miss 2 open receivers, and both times it was Marquise Brown, and he's got to complete that one.
Yeah, ironically, he's more accurate. It was the double move there, the Dino route we used to call that. He's more accurate when he's on the move and making that particular throw, which is a strange thing. But again, he's got an unconventional release for a guy that's 5'9", but Coach Riley makes it work for him, and when he's on the move, it's tough to stop him. I think his mechanics actually work to his advantage as he's running. There's the option game again.
To the wide side of the field, to Brooks. Cuts it back and is up to the 45-yard line. By the way, if you were, and the argument will always be in this Heisman race, well, he's had to play a lot longer. His numbers are going to be where they are because he plays full games.
Apples, oranges,
yeah, Tua Tagovailoa doesn't play 4th quarters generally. Well, if you took the third quarter stats only, he still has a better rating and he still has more yards than Tua Tagovailoa.
When you compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, he's on par and better.
Brooks gets it down to the 43-yard line. Joe Dineen to stop. There's some Heisman Trophy winners. Gosh, Billy Vessels, Steve Owens in 69.
This guy was a bruiser right there.
We love Billy Sims. Bradford and Baker Mayfield. And Jason White, of course, took the Sooners to the BCS title in 03. Only to have Nick Saban's LSU team.
If we didn't have so many Heisman Trophy winners, I'd have been able to get that little script in there, man. We'd have had one panel. Nice.
That's Carl Katera. He's down to the 20.
They couldn't get that shallow crossing route. It was a medium route. They couldn't get it deep, so they tried to go an intermediate, which it works, but against a much safer coverage than they've been trying to do with an over-the-top tight safety and a corner down. That was a very dangerous throw that they tried to make 4 times tonight. And much safer option here.
Well, you see, no school has ever produced back-to-back Heisman winners at quarterback.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, of course, the winner a year ago. Kyler Murray very much in it this year.
It's 04-05 when our colleague Leinart and Reggie Bush.
Yep. Different positions, but yep. Brooks head for a couple of yards. A little bit better sight along the sidelines there of Broyles. He is upright. Does need some assistance over there. And constant communication, and they're trying to keep him up and aware. Looks like the verbal skills are good and the eye contact is being made. 2nd down and 9. Quick out to Brown. Marquise inside the 10. 13 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
Timmy, back to the comments we made at the top of the show. You know, it's not piling on. It's about the difficult reality in college football. Now, a 50 spot certainly will look good to some people out there that consider such matters. I'm just saying. Just saying.
That's the way the game has got to be played now. I remember back in the day, Steve Spurrier took all the heat when he had Bob Stoops as his defensive coordinator for running it up. In today's college football, there is no such thing. It's a 2-score game, but hanging half 100 is hanging half 100. Up and over and knocked away. That's a good defensive play by the Jayhawks. As Deontay Ford, 27, extended himself, the junior from Houston's Ridge Point. Carson Meyer, the intended receiver.
You know, Carson, if he wanted to use some creativity, if he's got inside leverage by a defender, there's no coverage behind him. He can really loosen up and kind of be creative and move his body away from him and stop his route short. And that kind of play school or schoolyard creativity happens all the time in this offense.
2nd and goal.
You got that option game again.
Yeah, problems with the exchange that time. Deontay Ford makes the play against Brooks, and I don't think that the space between the runner and the quarterback was where it needed to be, my option friend.
You're a student of the game, Timmy. It's about what we call pitch relationship.
Yep.
Brooks, too close.
Oops.
The defender can play both the quarterback and the running back in that scenario again, and when you start to have a fluidness or don't know how to keep that pitch relationship, that ball comes hot to you, and it's tough to handle. Now throw it.
He did, and it's touchdown. It's Calcaterra, right on cue. Great call, partner.
Well, when they shut down the switch route on the outside, the wide will come definitely open because that trips is what they're thinking you're going to throw to. I mean, you know, you got trips formation, you got an off defender right back here. That's where the opportunity is. Put it in motion and watch why. Nice move. It's wide open. Whether it's cover 2, you can't be anybody back there in the end zone. There's no other defender. Once you clear that 2nd level, you're wide open.
Murray's 34th touchdown, the 3rd for Calcaterra. 3 touchdowns rushing, 2 in the air for Kyler Murray tonight. 55-32. We opened the game tonight, Spencer, talking about some style points. And
did they do enough?
No, I don't think to crack the top 4. I don't think so. But you need to be poised, as they say, Spence. You got to be in position if someone were to fall in front of you.
Well, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it again. We live in a world of images and impressions.
Yep.
And most people aren't willing to pull away the veneer, even some of those on that panel. It makes such wise choices.
By the way, we should give praise to the Citadel. They did something that LSU couldn't do. They scored a touchdown.
Did you see how they scored it on the option game?
Did.
The option game?
Just like Georgia Southern did a couple of years ago when they did them, as Ryan Shadler brings it up for the Jayhawks. By the way, he's got an outstanding name too, doesn't he? In fact, in a
Great
long
football
line, a great line of football names. What's your favorite of this group, Spencer?
You know, I got to tell you, I'm a tech guy, and I kind of love this jet toner thing here. That's pretty cool for me.
Stanford, yeah.
Rocky Lombardi, can't go wrong with that. You know, John Lombardi's a good friend.
He started today for Michigan State at Nebraska.
Yep.
Pooka's really good, but you got to go. It's really tough to go against a Rambo when you see one of those out there, too. Peyton Bender swings it out to Herbert. Stopped by Parnell Motley.
Pooka.
Charleston Rambo. That's he's out there tonight. He's caught a couple of passes.
He's got the little kid and play hairdo going on, doesn't he?
I got caught once with a cooler hot pop and a DiCaprio boodle myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
How about that?
3rd and 3. I love the way this kid Bender has handled himself tonight. He's had a lot of poise back there. That pass incomplete for Stephon Robinson. You know, he's not flashy. He's allowed the run game to really be the key and the star of the game, but he's been around. I mean, he's thrown very few bad passes. Maybe some miscommunications on routes being run by his receivers, but he's been on target most of the night.
But when you're playing a team, even though Oklahoma doesn't have a juggernaut defense, they still are Oklahoma. It's about mitigating risk. And so the game plan that they put together for this game and for all games this year have been really outstanding and matched his skill set.
On 4th down, it's Steven Sims for a first down and then some. Out to the 45-yard line.
And they're not quitting. They're running their offense and moving with effectiveness and intentionality.
By the way, Spencer, there will be news more than likely tomorrow in Lawrence. And it's ironic to me that if the reports are true, and it happens to be the hat, it happens to be Les Miles, one of the things to take into consideration is when he won his national championship in 2007, Missouri and Kansas figured into the mix. Dave Wannstedt and Pitt figured into the mix, beating West Virginia. And Les Moore went on, after losing a second game in his last regular season game against Arkansas, to win the national championship. They actually moved from number 7 the day of the SEC title game against Tennessee to number 2, and then beat Ohio State for the national championship.
What Les has to do is get an out-pitch offensive mind. And I think Clint Bowen is the guy that's on his staff right now, is the defensive coordinator. That if I were him, I'd keep him for recruiting purposes, and he's a darn good coach at that.
Won't hurt to have this Louisiana kid in his backfield, Pooka WIlliams. And I know there are a lot of naysayers out there because of the way it ended, but make no doubt, make no doubt about it. The ability to assemble a staff is why you hire a guy like Les Miles.
No question about it. He's got the gravitas. He has the rings. He has gravitas as a coach, and certainly the history of the game. He loves it. The guy will even eat some grass occasionally. He'll get you some headlines and some attention.
And, he recruited pretty well at Oklahoma State in the 3 years that he went up against Bob Stoops, too.
Yeah, the only coach had a winning record against Bob at Oklahoma State.
Herbert, touchdown. Well, Pooka's 252 is the 6th most in school history for one game.
It's not bad.
And Khalil Herbert just put a little icing on that statistical cake. Tony Sands got 396 against Missouri in 91. Gale Sayers got 283 against Okie State in 1962.
That was 4th most,
That's
right?
4th most.
Yeah. The Kansas Comet.
Oh, boy. You got to go back to 1962.
How about that?
A win against Oklahoma State. Gale Sayers, 283. Wow, that's 4th most.
That's big, man.
Well, they're going to go for 2 again with 2:31 left. How about that little shovel pass? Thing of beauty right there. That's 2 magnificent 2-point conversions. That's Caperton Humphrey that takes it in on the little shovel. And guess what? It's still a 2-possession game. Just over 2 to play, though. 55-40 our score, Oklahoma. By the way, Spencer, 40 points is 2nd most for them this season. They beat Rutgers 55-14. Now that's think about that. That's an amazing number. And I dare say a lot of people thought Oklahoma might score over 50. But I don't know that those same people would have said Kansas will get to 40. But they did.
That crowd would be small.
They go on sides here. Hands team is up, and it looks like Oklahoma is on top of it.
Lee Morris down there.
That's Lee Morris.
Yep.
Had a big catch early in the game. But one day, when Kansas gets its traction back, a lot of people will point back to this young man for helping put together a foundation for the days that lie ahead. Great young man. He was up for the he's on the Werfel Trophy list. I know because I'm a board member of the Werfel Watch. Magnificent impact player and leader for this team.
Yes.
Mom and granddad and great-grandfather, his brother, all Jayhawks. Just hoping now that we'll have some détente as the clock winds down between these two teams.
Back to your point about Coach Beaty, he said he never got into this game for personal gratification. I believe him. He says his criteria for determining if he's successful is how much of an individual leader these guys, a father, a husband, they become. And he says you won't be able to make that determination until years later. So he's about sowing and hopefully reaping something a long way down the road. Outstanding job by this coach.
Well, that'll do it. Lincoln Riley's team moves to 10-1. They're now poised to take on West Virginia to make sure that they are in a position to claim first place and definitely in the Big 12 championship as the two coaches embrace.
That's going to be a track meet, by the way.
Yes, it is. And you love using the term intentionality. Dana Holgerson's team will have that when they play in Morgantown next week, because they had control of that game at Oklahoma State most of the way today. Let it slip away.
Yep, they did.
Well, Holly Saunders is downstairs with Coach Riley. Holly?
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Coach, quickly here, how special has Kyler Murray been to Coach when you saw him tonight beat Kansas with his hands and his feet?
Yeah, he was explosive for us. It was fun to see him get loose there on the big run. You know, we've kind of been waiting on that one. He had one against Texas a few weeks ago, but he's been close. So he was really good for us tonight.
And you were able to send your seniors out with a win tonight. What has this class meant to you?
It means a lot. You know, they got a chance to be the only class in the history of this league to have 4 championship rings. And we don't have many of them. We're a young team, but they've had a huge impact on our program.
Pretty special. Thank you very much, Coach. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Holly.
Tim?
All right, Holly, thank you. This picture sums it all up, doesn't it, Spencer?
Timmy, you know, few of us reach our full potential with only ourselves to emulate. It's through relationships, and that's a pure one right there.
It is. Our final tonight from Norman, 55-40. The Sooners take down the Jayhawks. Well, tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL doubleheader, starting with the Cowboys and Falcons, then the Eagles and Saints. Tonight's game produced by Jake Jolivet, Director Mitch Riggin, our technical producer Carlos Gonzalez, Associate Director Max Leinwald, sideline producer Jesse West, our broadcast associates Kevin Ward and Jacqueline Chung. For all of them, Spencer and Holly, Tim Brando, so long from Norman.